So let's just start by just taking a moment to take a deep breath and say what the actual we're not surprised at this point. We haven't been surprised by any of this for years. Hi, I'm Wanderpleat, and this is not a political channel. This is a fun times woo-woo channel where I share my favorite tarot and oracle card decks and other things to do with that. Just fun, spirituality, nature, rhythms, art, that sort of stuff. Witchy stuff. But here I am today because I had to say something. I had to say something. Context. Let's get some context. So I am an American, unfortunately, who married a British person, and I have lived in the United Kingdom for a bit over 3 years now. I watch all politics with horror, and I will be quite honest with you. The last 6 months, I've just sort of not wanted to know. And I really didn't think that essentially, like, most of the country of my birth would decide we were gonna do this again. Decide, just collectively, that we were gonna do this all again, and we were gonna do it bigger, and we were gonna do it worse. So today, I woke up. My partner was working night shift, and so he returned home and said, "Have you seen the inauguration?" And I'm like, "Oh no, was that yesterday?" He's like, "Yes. Look at Elon Musk doing the salute. Oh my gosh, this is horrible." And I'm like, "Yeah, it is." So it's like, well, let's watch it. And of course, throughout the entire thing, it was just appalling thing after appalling thing after atrocious statement after atrocious statement. This video isn't about all those statements. This video is about the particular thing that, like, sort of jogged my brain particularly. It was when that man, we're not going to say that man's name. I don't feel like saying that man's name. That man said, we are gonna, I don't know how he said it precisely, but basically we're gonna call Mount McKinley McKinley. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's Denali. Wait a minute, that's Denali. And then I had this memory of how last year, I'm grabbing something down here, I'd gotten this beautiful deck. Love this deck. Obviously, I got it because I'm a huge fan of Yuri's art. And to be honest, his YouTube channel, the Ohm Grove, is like my comfort channel. Like when I'm feeling really anxious, I will put it on and just listening to Yuri and the other people on the channel discussing the trees, it soothes me. Okay, so of course I needed to get this deck. And I did a lot of readings for myself with this deck. I did one reading on this channel with it as well. But I noticed that pretty much every single time I did a reading, and I shuffle those cards good. I shuffle them, I sing to them, I cleanse, you know, I do all that. I just kept pulling a specific card last year. And I mean, it has to have been like over 10 times did this card pop up. Denali. So I'm sat there with my partner watching this atrocious display that's happening in the country of my birth, the country that I still technically belong to, and I still have to do taxes for, even though I do not live and work there. But we're not going to get into that. Not getting into that today, because this isn't a political channel. We're getting into the fact that it felt like Spirit was pointing out something about this. And so I just wanted just to take this moment to just give honor and send positive energy to the indigenous peoples. And there's several different people groups. Like, I don't know a lot about it, but I want to know more about the different people groups and about their struggles and about the horrific things that the United States did to them. And I want to take this moment to just honor them and just send that energy, and want to say that I'm not sure how, but at least inside, I want to stand with them. I want to stand with every minority group, everyone who is affected by the policies and the people within this new governmental change that are being affected. Denali. I will only ever call this Denali. There were other things that man was saying. To, like, my spirit was grieved. I filled with grief. And then he sat there saying, it was something to the effect, I honestly don't even fully understand it, but I know it's bad. Something to the effect of, yeah, Green New Deal, boof, no. Electric cars, no. We are just gonna drill, baby, drill for oil. We're going to the land. We're gonna do that here in Alaska. We're symbolically stripping this mountain of its rightful name. But we're also going to just fully F up the environment, like purposefully, and we're going to make money off it, and we're going to be powerful. He literally was saying this. And my little druidry heart is just twisting inside of me, and I'm just like, this is bad. But here we are. We can only do what we can do. Each one of us needs to take care of ourselves and our community, the people around us. And those of us who can stand must stand. Because nothing is ever fixed. There's always something we can do. So I just wanted to honor Denali And I also wanted to point out the other interesting thing that was occurring, because at the same time that I was doing tons of readings with this deck and pulling this card, you'll notice that the, I think, sort of like sea goddess Sedna is present. Absolutely gorgeous. So there's Sedna. She's present on this card, but I was also doing lots of readings with the Femfolk Oracle deck. And in that deck, with just as much frequency that I pulled the Denali card from this deck, I pulled, like, over and over again, the Sedna card. And I noticed that, and I was just like, okay, Sedna, I need to get that in. So I'm going to read to you the story of Sedna, because a short story version of it that's in here in this guidebook from the Femfolk Oracle, because I think it's relevant to everybody right now. We're at a heart, like the sense of betrayal. So this says, let's do that so it doesn't get glare on it. Sedna is the Inuit goddess of the sea and all marine animals that live throughout her domain. She is the mother of the sea, yet many origin myths detail rather violent acts inflicted upon her before her transformation. One such story involves Sedna being dissatisfied with the suitors brought to her by her father, causing him to become so enraged that he throws her into the sea. When she attempts to climb back into the boat, he cuts off her fingers, which become the first seals. 2 more attempts lead to her hands and forearms becoming the first walruses and whales, eventually ending with her sinking to the bottom of the ocean to transform into a goddess. And just like that story of betrayal, of dismemberment, that I just felt. It feels really relevant right now. There's a lot of dismemberment occurring on our planet right now. And unfortunately, there will probably continue to be more. So I just wanted to open up a dialogue about this, because I thought it was relevant that 2 different decks that both happen to have Sedna in, that I own, kept throwing her forward. So I definitely need to do a deeper dive on her and the culture that she arises from, and also more about Denali. So to end this, I felt like I should just see if we could get anything sort of positive moving forward. So I thought that I would just do a quick draw from another deck that also is rooted in North America, and it is the Brady Tarot. It's an absolutely beautiful deck. The guidebook's written by Rachel Pollack, which is just so amazing. So I'm just gonna pull us a card from this deck, just something to sort of hold on to in this moment. When from the deep I bring it. There we go. Oh, it's weird. I knew it was going to be this one. I knew it. The world. Because that's what hangs in the balance at this moment. It's the world. So I'm going to see what Rachel Pollack had to say about this card. Let's have a look. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. The world, the world. Hold that up. Fulfillment, realization, success in whatever the reading concerns, the end, the completion of something, but also an opening to a new beginning. If anyone might think that Emmy Brady's nature-based cards are limited symbolically, they need only ponder the World card. Because this final card of the major arcana is denser with symbolism than some others, we will give it extra space. With the World, the Fool comes to the end of the soul's journey through the wilderness. But this ending is not a finish so much as a fulfillment of things shown or hinted at in previous cards. And since the 4 symbols of the minor arcana appear, the feathers of the birds, the drinking horns tied to the arrows, and the entwined roots, we are reminded that the suits will open up new journey through many of the worlds of the card. The imagery here recalls various other major cards. The raven brings us back to card 1, the magician, while the snowy owl represents card 2, the high priestess. If you take those first 2 cards and set them next to each other, with the magician on the left as number 1, you will see right away that the 2 birds fly away from each other, the magician raven to the left and the high priestess owl to the right. In the world, the number 21 reverses the sequence 1, 2. Thus, in the picture, the raven seems to return from the left, while the owl flies eagerly to meet him. Energies which seemed opposite, even divergent, at the end of the journey come together. We saw a glimpse of this reunion in card 14, Temperance. There, however, the bird on the right was an eagle, like the owl, a symbol of wisdom. Cards 14 and 21 are also linked visually through the entwined spiraling snakes in Temperance and the double helix formed by the trees of the World card. When the scientific world proudly announced the decoding of a strand of DNA as a double helix, many occultists said something like, "Oh, we knew that." It's the caduceus of Hermes. Is it coincidence that the fundamental form of genetic material should resemble a symbol thousands of years old? That would depend on what you think coincidence means. The world's imagery recalls various other cards. 21 is 12 backwards, and the suspended sassafras leaf in the center may suggest the upside-down opossum in card 12, the hanged one. Sassafras is a native North American laurel species. This hints at the spiritual victory of card 21. From the ancient world, laurel wreaths crowned victors, from military to sports to contests of poetry. The victory here is spiritual, overcoming duality through entwining energies and images. The arrow from which the drinking horn suspends recalls the arrows held in the turkey vulture's beak in Justice. As card 11, Justice formed a midpoint in the Fool's journey through the wilderness, with 10 cards before it and 10 after, and thus a turning point on the way to the unity of the world. This brief description can only hint at the ways the World card brings together the majors cards that came before it and the 4 worlds of the minor arcana. So the world is a completion of one thing and the beginning of a new thing. And this is for us. This is for whoever's watching this video, whoever's taking this moment with me. And thank you. Thank you for taking this moment with me. We're at the beginning. or at a new fool's journey. And we need to just get on this journey and do all of the good, all of the best that we can. So that hopefully, as we move through this cycle, we can truly resonate in this image and see it occur. We must bring about as much hope and good as we can and stand together. So that'll be it from me today. Thank you for joining me. Once again, honor to Denali, which is named Denali. It has no other name. And I hope that you have a blessed day. Ta-ta for now.